Hey YouTube, it's your boy Tim. I'm here today with a different type of video. I'm trying to get into the thing where I'm doing more tips and doing more tutorials, especially with things that I think I do well. And today I'm going to give you my top 5 tips for creating very engaging presentations. Presentations are one thing that I think I do very well up on stage. I'm able to get in front of a group of people, deliver a presentation that's very engaging, that's very informational, and that's hilarious and funny, that have people walking away talking about me for months to come. So today I'm giving you my top 5 tips. I'm able to do this really quickly, and I want to dive directly into this. So let's do it. I'm going to roll this intro, and we're going to get directly into the content. Roll it. When giving a very engaging presentation, I like to start with one essential thing that allows the audience to jump directly into the boat with me, for them to be engaged from the very beginning. And my first thing that I do within a presentation is give a story. Yes, I like to give a very engaging story that allows them to see the point, that allows them to almost feel what it is that I'm saying. And then from there, I start with like an intro or welcome or something like that. So normally my story is around a black designer in the industry, and there's like a black kid who wants to be this black designer. And I'm able to compare and contrast something that we do every day that's very simple and relate that to design and success, and how successful you have to be a black designer in the industry. And it works really well to bring the audience into one simple idea, but it also allows me to take my time and get everyone listening, because I want the room to be completely silent when I talk. I want to know that I have everyone's attention. And while I'm giving this story, I'm using certain techniques to add emphasis on certain parts, such as how I'm speaking, what I'm speaking about, and then I might even animate some areas. So you can use tone as an excellent way to be very dynamic in your presentation. Give you an example. I was shot this morning. Someone walked directly up to me and shot me in the head. Shot me dead. Bam! Bam! As the bullet went through my head, I fell there on the ground with the blood just running down the side of my face. Just running down the side of my face onto the concrete. And you could see a little part of my brain from where the bullet went through my head. And part of my brain was a little bit cooked from the heat of the bullet that went through my head. And as I laid there clinging to my life, clinging to life itself and breathing, I left you with one message. Live your life. Do all the things that you wanted to do, because you will never get that chance to do it again. If that's one thing I could ever leave you with, I would leave you with that. I mean, that's simple. It's a simple idea, but creating a story that allows the person to visualize something that you're saying, and you're able to connect that to points within your presentation is very effective. It allows you to come in at the very beginning, grab my attention, and you have the opportunity to keep it and keep me engaged throughout the presentation. So number 1, start with a very engaging story to try to keep my attention throughout the presentation. Number 2, pictures say 1,000 words. I love to use pictures throughout my presentation. I normally use a site called Unsplash. I'll put that down in the description. And I use pictures from there to help build a visual story about what I'm talking about, the different things that I'm trying to relate you to, along with normally some things that's going on through pop culture. I don't put text, too much text, should I say, on my slides. For instance, I like to use more so titles. The issue that I run into with text is you start reading verbatim from the screen. And the only time I read verbatim from the screen is when I'm like reading a quote or something like that. But other than that, I don't. And I don't want to be one of those speakers who have like content on the screen, who's reading it word for word. Number 1, your audience members can read what's on your screen. You don't read to them what's on your screen. That's like disrespectful. How the hell are you going to read to me and I can read it myself? Don't need you to read it. And then if you mess up, like if you're in the classroom and you mess up, you know those ignorant students that will correct you and, be like, you said it wrong. This is how you said it. I read this advertisement. No, it's advertisement. You don't want that type of thing happen. People will do that in the audience. And then you don't want to like get off subject a little bit and have somebody to pull you back on subject by reading your presentation that's on the screen. You don't want to do that. So I just use pictures. Then you don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know if I messed up in anything. That's really helpful because you can't mess up if they don't know if you messed up. If you have like text on the screen and you reading it verbatim and trying to stay on topic with that, people know when you messed up. But if I don't have any text on screen, even if I'm stuttering over stuff, they don't know if I messed up in this presentation or not. They'll just think, oh, he's nervous or something like that. And that's normally okay in a presentation. So number 2, pictures say 1,000 words. Use them to tell a visual story throughout your presentation. Number 3, my next tactic is I use GIFs and pictures to help break up that content. So you're using all these pictures, and so I like to use GIFs to help make the audience laugh. In a particular situation, when I was in Omaha giving my presentation on my work and creating work with impact, I used GIFs to help lean into the idea that black designers make up 3% of the design industry. And I used the GIF with like this guy running from the water, and I used it to show that, I was like, dang, black designers, we're extinct. Like, someone help us. Like, black designers are extinct. Help us, help us, help us. I like to use them to make people laugh. And sometimes they're attached to a meme that can help you dive into a certain point. So using GIFs and videos help break up content. Videos help people visually get an idea of what's going on. I used the video in the opening scene in my presentation to show that, I was here. I did this in Omaha, Nebraska. Thank you for welcoming me with welcome arms. I also went here. I also used pictures to show and relate that information to the audience so they can see that I've been here. I'm basically almost like an Omahayan. I don't even know why the hell I said that. And it just allows the audience to relate, So giving pictures and GIFs and video, it brings a different type of content that relates back to your audience. And also, it looks fucking cool. So why not use it? So that brings me to number 4. Number 4, use quotes as inspiration. Quotes within your presentation allows you to not only further break up the content, but it also allows people to connect with you on social, because people use these quotes as inspirational things to take pictures of. They like to relate to them back and forth on social media, so that they'll tweet at you and hashtag Tim Hykes said this. This is what Tim Hykes said. And if you're able to land in on very inspirational thoughts, these can be things that really help propel your speaking career. So definitely use quotes. Don't have every other freaking slide a quote, but use a couple of them. My normal rule of thumb, within 20 slides, I have at least 2 to 3 quotes in there. 20 slides is like 20 minutes. With me and how fast I talk, 20 slides could be 5 minutes. So you really have to think about how these relate to your story that you're trying to tell and the type of information that you want them to take away, and adding quotes in that help you land on that idea. Do that. Add some quotes. Add some inspiration to your presentation. Now we're at the last and final thought, number 5. Number 5, energy keeps me awake. You will get up in front of audiences that feel like they are fucking dead. I have to say fucking because, it drains everything out of you. You're pumping them with energy, and afterwards you hear them say, oh my God, you're so energetic, it was so fun watching you, but you didn't get none of that back. This is why I now have this technique where I have all these different things that are going. So I can get some laughter, because that helps keep me energized. I can get some quiet when I need it to be quiet. I can get some oohs and some ahs when I need oohs and ahs. And I do all that by being very energetic. I give a lot of energy on stage. Even before I walk on stage, number 1, I'm very nervous, always nervous. I'm always shy. People tell you that I'm not shy, but I am shy. But I am normally telling myself, okay, Tim, be very energetic. Do a lot of smiling. Make sure you land on the thoughts. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. I have a prep talk with myself to make sure that I land on that. And even sometimes in the speaker notes, at areas where I know that I could be drained, I also put in there lots of energy, so I can see it big as day. And then you see a boost of energy come through. Giving your audience energy allows them to think that it makes them feel like your presentation was very energetic. It was full of energy, full of content. There's nothing worse than hearing a presentation who has that clear-eyed man voice from the commercial. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim Hykes, and today I'm going to talk to you about design and how to make design better and how to make your craft better. So in making your craft better, the first thing you want to do is start doing better shit. Doing better shit could work a lot for you. I mean, it's some instances where people are able to do that but be very hilarious and it works, but 9 times out of 10, it's like, oh my God, he's like monotoned and I'm gonna have to sit through this presentation. I really hate it when I'm like a speaker and I'm like on stage or something and have to sit through it. I prefer to laugh, I prefer to smile, I prefer to cry, I prefer to be like angry and upset versus being bored because the way someone's presentation is and how they present it. So these are my 5 tips. Trust me, these are my go-to tips. I have yet to have someone say, you have horrible presentation, I didn't like it. Normally what I might get is, you gave us takeaways, but you really didn't have too much meat. I would rather have someone say, oh, there wasn't too much meat, which means I can go back to my presentation and add more things that help lend on the point, or add more things that allow you to take away greater information. But I don't want nobody saying, oh, this is boring. No one has ever told me my presentation was boring. No one has ever told me my presentation was very energized, now I can't fucking talk, but energized. And then no one has ever said that I wasn't a very good storyteller. I mean, some of these things might take practice, but if you start doing these 5 tips on your next presentation, trust me, the audience is going to be wild, they're going to love it, and it's going to be very dynamic, and it's going to be very engaging, and you're going to be asked to speak over and over and over again. Even if it was bullshit, they will still invite you back to present your bullshit over again because it was a very engaging presentation. So that's all I have today. If you like this video or you think what I presented today is going to be very helpful, definitely let me know that, Tim, this is very helpful. We can also talk some more about this down in the comments. Let's do that. If you have a presentation that you would like me to look at, to give you my thoughts on, I would definitely love to do that. Say something to me, leave me a message, like this video, comment. I will definitely be right there to help you out with your presentation. And I will be very happy if some people today walk away with more engaging presentations and come back and say, yo, I took your tips to heart and they love my presentation. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you next week. Bye.